Good morning. Another wonderful morning here in Pretoria, and welcome to South Africa. And Africa, we are here to give you expertise and wisdom so that you may apply it in your lives to improve yourself and your business. So welcome. We're going to have a fantastic show today. And today we are joined by the Isaac's family, who have actually started something from their own home kitchen. It started in 2022, and it's called the Sauce Queen. So welcome to Bruce. Welcome, Bruce. And
good morning.
Morning. And Liam and Robin will be joining us shortly. This is a proudly South African story of a family legacy, youth entrepreneurship, bold local flavor, and what has taken a family to actually from grassroots to start a new business of food manufacturing from very humble beginnings. So we're going to be looking at this, and they've taken it now nationally in some areas, in macro and regionally in Checkers and Spa. We're going to be talking to them how they've actually done it. It's a fantastic accomplishment, and it's an inspiring story. So welcome to the show. Before we start with Bruce, we're going to just go through our co-hosts who come and give us their insightful point of view from their business point of view. So welcome to Mana. Mana is a commercial broker, insurance specialist. Then we've got Wilhelm Lombard, who is a teams performance specialist. Then we've got Russell John Fagan, who teaches us all about how to make sales, a really important aspect in our lives. And then we've got Glenn Lees Jones, that comes from a purpose-driven point of view and of planning your life and to make a success. And then we've got Willie Snyman, who is a leadership coach, and he's a person who gets you to understand how to actually deal with conflict and how to overcome and be better in life. So welcome to all of you. It's great to have you here. So Bruce, over to you. I'm going to ask you to give a little brief overview of your business, and then we'll go into some questions.
Sure. Thanks for having me and my two sons. Well, the business, the Sauce Queen, was founded in June 2022. We South Africa's first coloured youth-owned sauce manufacturing SME, and proudly from the Cape Flats in Cape Town. And the business started from humble beginnings, from our modest home kitchen, and has grown into a nationally distributed food manufacturer. We produce premium sauces that celebrate authentic South African flavor and family heritage.
Sure. Now, this is a fantastic story, and obviously Mana actually found you guys and saw what you were doing and said, we've got to have you on the show.
Thank you, Mana.
I was quite inspired because it's two youngsters starting from nothing out of a kitchen, so it's very inspiring.
I can imagine how proud I am as their dad, eh?
Sure. So hopefully they're going to join us shortly. I know they're busy doing certain things, making some sauces in the kitchen, hopefully. But I think the big thing here that I want to ask is, many people have a product idea or an idea that they have, but few manage to move it from basically an idea, or in your case, from a home kitchen to a real retail on-store thing where you're actually now on shelves in different regions and in macro globally, in South Africa. I want to ask you about what were the key steps that helped you to actually get, to start this whole process. What was the initiator? What got you to actually think, okay, this is what we want to do, and take it forward? Bruce?
Yeah, I would say, just to give you a bit more to the story also. It's not only from our home kitchen, but it also started from generational recipes passed down. That being my boy's grandmother, their mother's mother, and she was an only child. And back then in the 70s and 80s, there was a limited budget because half of their weekly wage would be to commute to and from the workplace, because going in Mitchell's Plain, working in town is like 36 kilometers away. And when they had Sunday lunch, which became obviously an institution in South Africa, but family and friends over also. And when Marcel's mother passed on, and on cleaning her house out, Liam actually found her handwritten recipe books. Fast track a year, Marcel started making them in the home kitchen. And we discovered, hey, we got some amazing flavor profiles. And if you look at the sauces that we actually have, it's a smoky range, which is a barbecue, a chipotle mayo, and a rosemary and garlic. The boys then done some research and discovered that there is no rosemary and garlic sauce available on the shelves in the South African retail space, as well as chipotle mayo. Yes, there are 3 other brands that has the smoky barbecue sauce, but the new USP and value proposition from our sources to our competitors is the multi-purpose and versatility of the product. In our competitors are more single-use applications. If you need a marinating sauce, you'll have to buy a bottle. If you need a basting sauce or a braai sauce, you buy a separate bottle. Whereas ours is the versatility about it. You can braai with it, marinate, baste your meat. It's also a cooked, ready-to-eat sauce, and you can baste it on your hamburgers, boerewors rolls, hot dogs, and that type of thing. That's when, because I just finished working 2 weeks prior to that, and I've been in the food and beverage industry for over 35 years. We had a chat, and they saw a gap and an opportunity in the South African market. Yes, we did hear from many people, is the sauce market not saturated, not only in South Africa, but in globally. However, we knew our USP and value proposition and flavor profile is something that could really move and gain traction in the market. Hence the decision to commercialize.
So Bruce, just continuing from that, when did it actually change, and what was that transition from becoming a hobby, like a family product business, to becoming a real business, a commercial, tangible business? What actually was the transition?
Yeah, the transition came in early Feb 2024. And Robin, being in IT, actually noticed that our big retailers, the likes of the ShopRite Group, Woolies, Food Lovers Market, Macro, etc., all offer a SME development program. They all call it differently. For example, Spart will be SSDP, Pick n Pay is ESDP. Long and the short is he knew that we were compliant in not only regulatory but mandatory prerequisites as well within the food space, and also being a registered company. And he made an application to all of them. I think it was 12 companies that he applied on. And through the grace of God, exactly a week to the date that he made the first application, he got a response from the ShopRite Group. And they were invited to do a product introduction as well as tastings. So the way it works is you tell the story, you do your product activation tastings, and they have a panel of 7 buyers. And they keep it uneven because of a voting system. So if 3 says yay and 3 says nay, the head buyer would have the casting vote. Again, through the grace of God, it was unanimous. They loved the story behind it, and more importantly, they loved the branding as well as the product, and also saw the gap and opportunity arising from especially the 2 flavors not being available in South Africa. Then we fast track, and another 6 months got approved into Pick n Pay. So the launch into Checkers, because it's specialty sauces and They're really good. So the launch for the Shoprite Group was into Checkers, and it started out at initially 3 stores. So the way they work it is they would select 3 stores in close proximity of where you operate, so that you can service those stores in terms of deliveries, sales, and merchandising. Rate of sales started picking up because we started making use of social media. People even started WhatsApping the boys and saying, can I order? Friends and family also helped us advertise. And then it grew into 26 stores. Pick and Pay launched into 4 stores, currently in 58 stores. And then Macro, December and January 25 and 26 respectively, we got approved, and that was the biggest order thus far since the inception of the business for the national. Just approved the beginning of June into Spa regionally, and one of the biggest achievements that the boys has is that there's another big brand where we actually have the David and Goliath that will run a combo deal for Bride Day coming up in September.
Fantastic. This is such an important lesson for young and the youth today, is that there are opportunities out there, and just to take that initial step to go along and investigate, find out who's supporting this, and actually go ahead and actually do the applications and that. Fantastic. Kudos to you and your sons for doing that. I'm going to hand over to Mana, who's going to come from a business point of view and ask a few questions. Over to you, Mana.
You think I'm going to ask a business question? I want to know what the Queen's name is.
The Queen's name, the original Queen is Anne, the grandmother, and second generation is Marcel. So that's all. The reason why they decided on the name is no disrespect and not being sexist, please. They were saying, we notice when we have family and friends over, whether it's a dinner party, whether it's a braai, mom or the female is always preparing for 3 hours. And then Bruce comes and he braais or grills the meat, takes an hour. Almal het nou lekker geëet, ons is klaar gekuier, finger licking good. And then they say, thank you, Bruce, this was a wonderful braai or dinner. And that's when it clicked to them, is we want to pay homage to the queens in our lives that are preparing, that are always looking after us, that are nurturing us, hence the name. So those are the 2 queens, yeah.
Yeah, I think David can attest. I love braaiing, but for the woman in the house, it's like hard work, eh? And then thank you, David, the braai was nice. You feel like hitting them with a pan over the head or something. So in the early days of Sauce Queen, what do you think was the hardest reality the boys faced, outside the people that they know? And
the hardest reality, I would say, I just apologize. I just saw a message from Liam. He's 10 minutes away because of traffic. The hardest reality, I would say, is funding or to build up cash flow. Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying that, I'm saying exactly what they said to me. And they really done their research as well, because the current business model, being an SME, is to have a co-packer. So when you have a co-packer, you lend on the expertise, not only their food safety expertise and their technical expertise, but it's also because they co-pack for so many other people. So when they do their procurement, they can offer the boys a better price in terms of bottles, caps, and labels. Their ultimate medium to long-term goal is to own their own manufacturing facility. So funding, definitely. Even just gaining funding to upscale the business. I assisted them in doing the Good Life Food Expo, and then a week later, the Africa Food Show. What has transpired subsequent to that is that there were international buyers from Aldi's, for example, which is the Woolies or the Checkers of Europe. And the buyer actually loved the taste and requested samples. But to send samples over to London, it's going to cost them 8,500 alone. and those are the type of things. Got an invite to attend the IAL Paris Food and Beverage Show in October.
Wow.
Fortunately, yes, Westcrow has said they will assist because they youth to pay the airfare for one, but the other has to come up with their own airfare. So those opportunities out there, and for example, with the listing into Spa, you get a massive listing fee of 55,000 that has to be paid. So funding, ready to upscale the business, maybe even looking out there for an investor that's aligned with our family as well as the boys, not only business values but and ethics, but family values as well. Sorry to ramble. There have been two investors that approached them, and it's I don't want to go into tears here, getting emotional, but it's the investor will walk in and say, yeah, I can actually, within 24 hours, you can have in your business banking account a couple of million, but I want 50% equity. It's like they want to, it's just too harsh.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for you when you work so hard and you think you've got to give away half of what. The boys, how old are they?
26 and 30.
Okay, no boys anymore. Hey.
No, I still call them my boys. Apologies.
Who's cooking? Obviously, I can just imagine in your house when you started with the business and you still needed money and testing and certification, packaging, stock. Who did what? How did they manage to get along to do that? Because I know I come from a large family, because there's always friction. I want to do it this way and you want to do that way. How did they manage that?
I'd say because when they come from ideation to commercialization, myself and my wife, assisted them as much as possible. And believe you me, Marna, yes, we have had our arguments and disagreements. In terms of new product development and finding the balance in the flavor profiles, Marcel does that for them. They do the rest of the commercialized side, seeing the buyers, having the meetings, doing pitches, and getting listings, and as well as branching into the hospitality trade, which they managed to secure a restaurant in Cape Town that has 4 branches and supply the 5 liters now. And then I assist them with the operations. I would see to the orders for them until such time that they have enough budget and cash flow built up in the business that they can employ someone to do it.
Are you outsourcing someone to make the sauce now, or are you still doing it in your kitchen?
No, because of it being in bigger volumes now, we simply cannot produce it in our own kitchen, hence the co-packer.
That's amazing. David, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, there's some great questions there. Thank you, Mono. I'm going to hand over now to Glenn. Glenn does his purpose and planning, and Glenn, I'm sure you've got some great questions there on how this whole thing came about. Over to you, Glenn.
Thanks, David, and thank you, Bruce. Very interesting story this, I must admit, and I'm sure you are a very proud dad. My first question is really about the whole legacy behind it. The Sauce Queen is obviously a strong family story behind it. How important was the legacy of the family recipes in giving the business meaning beyond just selling that product?
Again, I'm going to refer to family values, Glenn, and that is installed. Marcel and I were born in the early 70s. So in our initial phase of our lives, I lost my mother and father at a very young age. So her parents were basically my parents as well. And they instilled in us values. Do the right thing first time. Having integrity. And yes, we all grew up as teenagers. Ons het 'n bietjie stront aangevang hier en daar. And you will be chastised because back in the 70s and 80s, jy sal nog altyd met die houte kooklepel, jou pak kry of die slipper. And that installed in us the value system that, treat people with respect and integrity. And we then transcended and took that into the brand. Hence the reason why the boys came up with the name, the Sauce Queen. Treat a female like a queen, with respect and with dignity. Because if I respect her, if I love her, or any female and a male for that matter, automatically it's going to resonate back to me. And I think that's the biggest story we're trying to say about the brand as well. I'm not sure in the Western Cape and Cape Town, especially on a Sunday, your Sunday lunch is your big family gathering. Because when I started working, I was working shifts. So I wouldn't be able to have supper or dinner around the table with the family, because I actually start at 5 and everyone else is getting home at 5. So when I'm off weekends, Sunday is when everyone and your, whether it's grandkids and great-grandkids, everyone sits around the table. It's an institution for us and forgive me to say, in the colored culture. And with that saying, the mothers and grandmothers will always have Hot FM radio when they play the golden oldies. And they might be cooking, it might be 12 o'clock. Hulle het nog altyd hulle rooi wyn of wit wyn terwyl hulle hierdie roast en alles. And that's what it was about, the family and a vibe. We were thinking of a vibe. Knowing that if mother walks in, I can feel her presence because I can feel her energy. Because when he, or the father, or when the son comes in, how was your day? You can actually feel the energy in the way they verbalize things to you. You feel a bit down. Are you okay? Or and knowing that, look, I had a bad day at work. Can just give me an hour to recollect myself and get there. Can we chat about it later? So those are the basics that we're trying to say. Likewise with the brand, you like something, have the vibe with it. When you have your kuier, your braai, your dinner party, it's not only the experience of the flavor profile, but it's the company that you're having also. And creating memories.
Fantastic.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely, very much so. I happen to remember the slipper. Quite often.
Very much so.
And certainly the family, just around the table on a Sunday is brilliant. I remember very fond memories of that. Still have that to this day with my family. Okay, my next question very quickly. You know, things are always difficult sometimes in business. You're going to go through challenges and that type of thing. You've obviously gone through challenges. You spoke about funding as well. What purpose or bigger vision helped you actually keep going?
The bigger vision, I would definitely say as a turning point, looking back, when customers did more than just compliment our sources, they started becoming repeat customers and doing repeat orders, because the positive feedback was encouraging, but the consistent demand confirmed that we created a product that was, I'd say, genuinely wanted, and ready for the wider market within South Africa. And that gave us the confidence to invest more time and energy and resources into growing the business.
Fantastic. It's always taking those small little successes and then building on that as you go through. That's brilliant.
Absolutely true.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Well done. Back to you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Glenn. Let's go to Wilhelm. Wilhelm's going to talk to you a little bit about the teamwork within your family and within your customer base and your suppliers. Over to you, Wilhelm.
Thank you very much, David, and thank you, Bruce. This is a wonderful story. I love it. And one of the things that stood out for me is what you said, doing the right things right. You know, I always talk to people doing the right things right. You can do the right things wrong. You can do the wrong things right. And you can even do the wrong things wrong as well. So doing the right things right is that energy that's in your business, and that will really take you to a next level. So that's wonderful. And another thing that stood out for me, also the warmth. There's warmth in this business. There's warmte. There's love, and and I love that. That is the right vibe. So it's only a winning recipe in that sense. Family business can be powerful, but it can also be challenging. How do you divide responsibilities between Bruce, Liam, Robin, so that the business keep moving forward? When it's small, it's easier, but as you grow, that can be a problem. So it's so important to get that team right from the beginning.
Yeah, very good question. And it's something that we discovered when we, as a family, when the boys sat us down and said, we see this as an opportunity, we see a gap in the market. Yes, we need your assistance because you've been in the corporate world for over 30 years. We actually discovered how amazing it was, because while writing down, because Liam started studying his BCom, commercial, then branched out into property and then into Old Mutual, till where he's currently with another startup also assisting. And my wife Marcel, who does our the new product development, has always worked in the financial industry for Investec as well as Allen Gray. I've been in the food and beverage manufacturing industry for over 35 years. Robin has studied his IT degree, doing an internship at Pepco, but also assist a startup with testing. And then we discovered if we look at, let's say, for the lack of the good of a better term, the team. We have the operations, we have the admin, we have the IT, the systems, as well as the food safety, health and safety. And then we got the commercial side of Liam also, that's been in marketing, in sales. So clearly, yes, we don't have everything, because we're not naive to say what we do know amongst each other, we know exceptionally well, but we never profess to know everything. And that's what led to us deciding, okay, Bruce, you do the operations. Robin, you do systems and admin, because you've been in IT. And from the offset, we did say, as a family, we're asking, yes, we have our disagreements, but we work on a total trust ethos, because as a family, Sunday evenings was always our movie nights before you start the week. And one of our favorite movies as a family, bar the cartoons, is Apollo 13. And that we actually took into the business, is total trust. When those astronauts had a problem up in space, and the famous line is, Houston, we have a problem. The main engineer, flight engineer on ground at Kennedy Space Center, gathered all these specialists. No one ever questioned the other. They had total trust in each other to get those astronauts back to Earth. So we adopted that. And believe me, we have had our difficulties. We have had our disagreements. But because the trust factor, and then because we are family, it's the love as well. So I know when to challenge. And when I do challenge, let's say in our monthly operations meeting, I challenge whether it's Bruce or whether it's Liam or whether it's Marcel or Robin, we challenge in a respectful and dignified manner. We treat it as if we're not only a family and sitting around we imagine we're sitting in a boardroom table. We got a background here. We actually put our banner up in our braai room when we have our meetings, our monthly meetings, and we try to keep it as professional as possible by actually minuting everything that we discuss.
Excellent.
That makes sense.
Yes, for sure. The key thing that you've mentioned is trust. It's so important, because the moment when you have that trust, you can have lack positive conflicts, you can, and that's good. That's good for a business to have that positive conflict. We can fight and battle this thing out, and I don't have to watch my back, because at the end of the day, we commit to do something, and decide on what we are going to do, and then we keep one another accountable, and then it can lead to great results. So I like your style of thinking. It can only be successful if you keep doing this. That's the secret of teamwork. The next thing that I quickly want to ask you is
sorry, Wilhelm. Sorry, Wilhelm. Sorry to interject. Liam just pulled into the driveway, so he's going to log in the next few minutes.
Excellent.
Wonderful. That will be great. David, should I carry on or should we wait?
Please carry on, and then we'll go. Please carry on.
Okay. So the next thing that I want to ask you on that, what systems, routines, or habits have helped you move from informal startup energy now, I like the energy word, that's my style, energy, to a more structured business that can serve retailers, customers, and partners consistently?
Yeah, we definitely it was an entire paradigm shift, I would say, for us as a family, and especially the boys, to be approved on the small business SME development program into Checkers, Pick n Pay, and Macro, because automatically, it's not a the restaurant just ordered 25 liters for this week because they're having some special running. So it's all manual, and we just generate an invoice when you deliver. When we got approved, we discovered that systems in terms of ERP, the enterprise resource planning, was way and super important, not only to the businesses we supply in the likes of Checkers, Pick n Pay, Macro, and Spar, but to us as a business as well. And we had to actually invest. And fortunately, Robbins in IT was able to set up the systems for us. So we have the ERP system, EDI systems set up now, and also which encompasses and for me, for us as an SME, the ERP system is very integrated, and it has each departmental and your menopause. And that was quite a huge learning curve for us. But again, the paradigm shift was going from manual to electronic and digital. However, yes, I might be a bit slower on the electronic and digital side. The boys are exceptionally good at this, but I personally, as all of us can see, that the electronic and digital aspect into managing and running a business, no matter how small, no matter how big, is super important because all the information is available. And it's to a point where, as mentioned, Liam was traveling for the week. He could log on when he has a break at lunch or 10 o'clock tonight and see exactly what's happening. Oh, my orders has been X. I delivered Y. Hey, I still got 2 cases short here for, let's say, Checkers Pinelands. I need to get someone to deliver ASAP. And he can send the automatic prompts to wherever. If he needs me to do a delivery because Robin's not available, he'll send an automatic prompt, which is repeated. If I'm busy, let's say the first hour, I did not see the prompt, it repeats and it goes onto the phone as well. So that was such a huge step for us.
Excellent. I hear that humming. The humming sound of a well-oiled machine. I love it. Thank you, David. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, systems are so important in every business. Just a quick, I just want to remind everybody that we are talking to the Isaacs family about the Cape Flats to Table, Home Kitchen to Growing Brand. There's Source Queen. We're talking to them. And if you would like to obviously join Vision 2026, become a member, please scan that QR code and come and join us. And also please go along and subscribe to our Facebook, our YouTube, and our LinkedIn channels so that you can get more of this every single week. Let's go back to the story and find out more. We're going to be talking to Russell now. Russell is going to be talking to Bruce all about sales, marketing access, and winning shelf space. Very important aspect. Over to you, Russell.
Thanks, David. Bruce, yeah, I think a lot of my questions have already been answered. shelf space, the way that you guys went through the SME programs of these corporate environments allowed you that shelf space. But I want to look at something else, if I may. And I'm actually now speaking not from OrbSpec context. I'm actually speaking from CTAP. So I'm a director on the board of CTAP, which is a Community Transformation Accelerator Program, where we go into township economies and we develop SMEs such as what you and the boys have built. So I've got
Liam, it's in, guys.
Hey, Liam.
Sorry to disturb you, Russell.
No, welcome.
Hello, Liam.
It's so good to meet you guys. A little bit tired from traveling from KZN to Pietermaritzburg and then back home today. It was a big week, but thank you for allowing me to join. I know that it is a little bit later than expected, and I really appreciate being able to still join the call. And please continue. I'll catch up, and then have asked any questions, then I'll have answers for them.
Thank you very much.
I wonder if Liam can maybe tell us what he was doing.
So me specifically, I was meeting some people, meeting them for just opportunities on how to expand, opportunities on seeing if we are able to branch out, not just into the cities of Durban and Cape Town, more like, towns like Worcester, Pietermaritzburg, those types of towns as well, to see if those spas and they can also maybe try and get us into them. So that was mainly my priority, my top priority for that trip. Yeah.
May I remind you that there's a city called Pretoria?
Yes.
We want to taste your sauce.
Gauteng, Pretoria, definitely. Joburg, those types of cities. But I mean, Joburg, they've been doing very well in terms of just the way they run their city, I guess. And we've branched out into the macro there. I don't know if Bruce did. I'm sure Bruce mentioned it, or because we are nationwide in macro. So I've been trying to get a trip done to a place like Gauteng as well. That will probably be very soon. Yeah, very soon. But yes, that was on the cards. And I'm looking forward to it.
Also, just to add to that, very good point you mentioned, there is Pretoria or Gauteng. And sorry to interject again. The reason why Liam decided to do KZN, because we are selling there, but wanted to improve the market share as well as traction by gaining more stores.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's go back to Russell. I'm sure Russell, over to you.
Okay, yeah. I want to look at it from a different perspective, because when I listen to the story, it's a good story, like Willem and everybody else has already said, and it's a successful story. However, in the township community where I work around, there's a lot of rejection that takes place. And I would like to know, did something like that where you guys were rejected in the beginning? And how did you deal with it? Specifically, Liam, I want to direct it at you, and I'm glad that you came just in time, because young people look at rejection a different way than what we old folks do. We as old people tend to take it a lot more personal. Where I see with the young people, they don't really have that personal connection to rejection the way we used to, and I think it's just the way we've been brought up. But when you did face rejection, how did you and your brother deal with it as the two startup? Because it's young entrepreneurs, and that's a focus point where I'm looking at from a CTAP perspective.
Yeah, to be totally honest with you, I'll mention one word: fear. FEAR. And for me, I learned that it was something that I read a while ago when, I don't know if Bruce mentioned that I was working in property as well as financial advisory. So those types of things I was dealing with on a daily basis. My brother, not too much dealing with that rejection firsthand. Fear, it's acronym, fake evidence appearing real. That was how I basically dealt with that rejection. So every time something happened, I was like, that's a no, but that's one no that's going to get me closer to the yes, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So that's how I just kind of assisted my brother with that. He also got to know that, hey, rejection is going to happen. It's bound to happen where somebody says no. And that just makes it one step closer to that yes. And I think that's what we kept in our minds, in our hearts, to make sure that we just continue. Because as we know, it's only going to grow if you and how much you believe in it, and we thoroughly believe in it with our heart, mind, and soul, I think. And that's why it's going to do so well, let's say. And I'm still so optimistic about it. So that's why I'm very, but yeah, that would be how we dealt with the rejection. Fake evidence appearing real. Fear. So we just eliminated that fear of the rejection.
Good. Yeah, it's something that we teach, or what I've been coaching for quite a while, is that you've got a hit rate. It could be 3 out of 5, it could be 4 out of 10, and every time you get that rejection, it's just one less. So if it's 4 out of 10, one rejection, hey, guess what? You got another 5 rejections coming before you get the yes. And
Yes.
it is a different mindset. So I like that. Thank you. I don't have any other questions, and for time's sake, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, Bruce. Liam, it was nice meeting you.
Thank you, Russell. Likewise.
About you. So yeah, it's good to see you in person.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks, Russell. Thank you. And welcome to the show, Liam. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And I know traveling is quite a big thing. I used to travel a lot in my life. I'm going to hand over to Vidi Snyman. Vidi's a leadership and conflict, family decision-making coach, and I think he's got some very good questions for you guys, especially as a family business startup.
Yeah, thank you. This is quite so nice, Liam, that you could join now. The younger energy that you bring to this party this morning. And also entrepreneurship was very close to my heart of all the years. When I was in my 30s, I had the opportunity on Radio 702 to have like a sequence of talks with Tom Henderson. I'm not sure if he's still alive, many years ago. But what you just said about the no and the rejection is so important. When I was in my 20s, I was selling insurance policies for someone from door to door. In those years, you could. And I say to myself, for motivational purposes, the power, I need to get 10 no's in a row. And so when I knock on a door and I get a no, it wasn't rejection because I want to get 10 no's in a row. I never got to the room number 10. It was always like a room 2 or 3 I could get in. But I want to ask you a question also as a young person, and maybe another question. And Bruce, you're also welcome to answer. But what I found with many entrepreneurs struggle to let go. It's something that because they believe only they can do it because they're good in what they do. So what is the hardest responsibility that you had to delegate? Either Leon or Bruce can answer.
Yeah.
I think Leon can answer that question.
Do
you experience it with Kezia?
Yes, and I like that you mentioned the getting that nose continuously. Vili, it's a really good mindset to have, and that was how you got your yes, but just to maybe answer that question, the hardest thing I had to delegate or the responsibility would probably be that thing of not being so about failure. Don't be scared of the failure. Don't be scared of anything like that. You got to keep going. And that was it tied into the motivation factor. As an entrepreneur, you kind of have to keep motivated yourself and motivate the team, like we are that family team, let's say. And then we would be briefing each other. Maybe we had a briefing about the day, about the week, on what happened during the week or the day. And that's where, at least, let's say there's one person that has a bit of negativity of, it does feel like this is going, it's not going well, it's not going, and just to give you a realistic idea, it's not going well, it's not going good, this is not saying, nobody's saying yes and whatever. We kind of have to just pull each other together. There's got to be that one person that says, what we need to understand is that we have an amazing product here. Not just an amazing product, the way that this product can reach people and bring people together, that's the main thing that we need to kind of consider. Because you're braaiing, you want to have a braai with your family, with your friends, whoever. Maybe there's the Springboks are playing and you want to have a braai. The Source Queen will be there to kind of bring that together. And it's like, when the food is great, everything else is greater. The closest way to your heart is through your stomach. So that's what we were trying to, and it sometimes just means that we would have to mention that. But just to basically say, it was the delegation and the responsibility of saying, don't be afraid of the failure. Go out there, actually fail, fall on your face, so that you know how not to fall on your face, so that you know what not to do, so that you can continue going. It's a belief. It's a belief that we have to kind of instill in each other. And I think that's a responsibility on its own, because not many people actually, or not many, let's say, I don't know how other I've spoken to young entrepreneurs. Some of them are very, very well-minded and optimistic the way that we are. But just having that responsibility of saying, come together as a team. We've got to think of another way. We can't keep doing the same thing, expecting the same or expecting a different outcome. So that's basically what I had to continue, and my brother, as well as Bruce and my father and my mom. So we just continue to make sure that, let's continue this, because it's going to make us fall. But we have to keep going.
Maybe I could answer. I think Liam is maintaining the respectable and politeness side of it. For the two of them, it was the initial phase. It was slightly difficult for them to say, Dad, you need to do this. Sort out Spar, Plattekloof as soon as possible, because they're short on stock. Then, they start getting used to it by maintaining the respect as well as the dignified manner when you approach. It's not only any other person, but your parents. So I think I think it was just holding back on that a bit.
It was difficult. It wasn't as easy as one would say, because myself and my brother, we don't like being that ones to be like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. And that's why I say it's a responsibility in its own to just make sure that you're coming across to the team as a optimistic and encouraging leader. So that's why it's more like, I see this one is not doing so well at the rate of sales. Why don't we go check in on them? Why don't we go and do some merchandising? Why don't we go do some extra work over there? I think that needs some attention, and that's where we found a good balance. At first, it was a difficult thing to do, but we found a good balance in how to delegate that responsibility to each other. Even if, let's say, Bruce couldn't do it or anything like that for any reason, myself and my brother would then jump in to make sure that it gets done, or we'll do it with my father, so that's definitely something that we continue to do. And we were like, if we're going to do this, we've got to continue believing. So let's have a look at what we see, where the rate of sales is going. How is this doing? How is our main market share? Like, where can we expand? Where can we do this? We continue to just delegate it like that.
Yeah, and if one should fail, one saying is fail forward, not backwards. And then maybe from my side, David, the last question to Bruce specifically. Now, Bruce, if you fast forward now, you, let's say 10 or 20 years from now, you're getting like older, right?
Yeah.
And you look back to today as the younger Bruce. What advice will you give that, Bruce?
The advice I would give is, God damn it, Bruce, why did your son start a business and thinking entrepreneurship? You should have done it 50 years ago. Because there has been times, I think 99 out of 100 people that you speak to or liaise with or communicate or interrelate with has some idea, but there's the fear factor, as Liam mentioned, the acronym for fear, And also the sense of comfortability. I'll rather work for a company for 40 years and maybe get promoted, if I'm lucky, twice in the 40 years, but I do have a steady income. So it's the unpredictability. So definitely you should have started a business and not wait for your boys to do it.
Oh, thank you for that, Bruce. Over to you, David.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks for that. Liam, I've got a question for you. There are a lot of youth out there in South Africa and Africa who don't have jobs. They've matriculated. They've got some education behind them. What is your advice to them?
That's a very good one.
Good one.
Very similar to what I mentioned with regards to the responsibility. Be understanding that it's going to be up and down, a yo-yo. You're going to feel like it's going to be a roller coaster. You're not going to have smooth sailing. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every day. You've got to get yourself up in every day and find the why. The why was the main thing that I would say is something that I would say to them. What's your why? Why do you get up in the morning? What makes you get up in the morning? Find that thing. Because if it's not making you get up in the morning and go and get something done, it means that it's not going to, it means that you don't believe in it. So you got to have a why. You must stick to your why. Stick to the reason that you started whatever you started. And I would say, another one just on what Willie touched there. Fail on your face. Fail forward. You don't want to fall backwards on your backside. You want to fall forwards on your face when you get up. It's a matter of how many times can you get up, not how many times can you get knocked down. Because there's that one time that you're going to get up that's going to catapult you into another stratosphere. So I think that is what I kept in my heart. And that's what I continue to tell. We've had a program where we were assisting youngsters who just came out of matric, these two youngsters, and they were helping us with promotions, doing activations for us in different parts of Cape Town. And they actually came back to me and said, you know what, I just got a serious job. I got a serious job offer and I couldn't refuse it. And I was like, that is amazing, first of all. Secondly, congratulations. And they told me that it was because of the empowerment that I instilled in them to do that activations, to go and talk to people, to go and see new people, and to go and promote this brand, because that's how they were able to then speak and have confidence when they spoke in their interviews. That was a heartwarming thing. I mean, myself and my father, we and my brother, we kept on pushing them to do well, and not pushing them in a way that's like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. I don't think that really helps somebody. I think it's more needing to come from an encouraging heart, so that just warmed my heart in a way that it made me feel like I made a difference in somebody's life. And I said, by all means, go ahead with your new opportunity. I'm grateful that I was able to at least help you get there, whether it's stratosphere in our realm or in their own realm. It's more just empowering that person to be a better person. So I would definitely say, why do you get up in the morning? What makes you tick? That I would say is something I would give them as advice.
Wow. Just to add, the two, they're actually not biological brothers. It's my ex-neighbor's two boys. And to add what Liam said, we're very proud of that, because Joshua is the one that excelled the most in not only in his literacy and numeracy, PPA analysis and tests at the employer that he applied for, but he was the one that would come to Liam and say, you know what, I'm the shy one, yet I was so confident in my interview because I had to speak to strangers for 3 hours when I do the tasting activations and promotions. So that was heartwarming for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thanks for that. Because of time, I'm going to go through and just ask each of our co-hosts what their big takeaway is from today, and what they can take forward in their own lives going forward from what they've heard today. I'm going to start with Mana.
Yeah, as a woman, I had a tear or two here. I think your parents should be very, very proud of you. I can just feel it.
Thank you.
But what I want to say, and my takeaway was that, from the outside, success can always sometimes look easy for someone who's not going through that process. But behind the brand, there's sacrifice, pressure, tears, and resilience. And in your story, what stands out for me is the family values behind it, the legacy, the respect, and the mother's influence that gives the Source Queen a heartbeat. So I can just imagine what your mother must feel like right now. Because as a mother, I can just feel, the proud in her. So, yeah, well done, guys. Really, really well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Mana, thank you.
That's to tears now, Mana.
Yes. No, thank you, Mana. And we really appreciate that.
Thank you. Let's go to Glenn. Glenn, what is your big takeaway today?
Thanks, David. I typically normally just give one word to take away, but I'm going to give a couple of words today. I think of the word tenacity. I think of the word perseverance. And then Mana stole mine, also family values. I think that's so important as well, specifically in a family business. Those core values are so important. But there's something that John Maxwell speaks about, and I think this is so relevant in terms of your business and what you've gone through, and that is test, fail, learn, improve, re-enter. And that's exactly what you've done. We wish you the best. We trust it's going to go exceptionally well, and I'm looking forward to tasting your sauces. Thank you very much. Bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Glenn.
Let's go to Russell. Russell?
Yeah, I think the sentiment is the same. Everybody's touching on the right points. We look at family, we look at values and so forth. But from my perspective with CTAP, I think what's just encouraged me today, and Liam, it's something you said, which I haven't forgotten. I just need to remind myself constantly is why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I spending hours on end doing proposals for government institutions, for CTAP to change the lives of Black communities and SMEs in Black townships, so that they can create a better environment for themselves and their families. And yes, it all sounds very good, but I have to remember why I'm doing this, and my why, which you've reminded me to, is for the better of this country. Everything that I do in CTAP is not for that community, it's for the country. Because when we develop that community business and it becomes a viable entity within the ecosystem of that community, we create a strong base for our economy of this country. And, hats off to you guys, because you guys are exactly the people that CTAP is looking at, working with and developing. And it does, excuse the French for all the ladies, but it takes balls to stand up and do this. And well done. It's inspiring, and it's inspiring me today, and I've got a great meeting just now. It's inspiring me today to remember my why. So Liam, Bruce, thank you for that.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, Russell. Thanks, you.
Russell. Let's go to Wilhelm.
Thank you, David. Yes, I'll stick to that thing that we said, do the right things right. Keep doing the right things right. As you grow now as a business, it's not so easy anymore, because now you need to get the right people to be part of your business. And maybe I can assist if you want me to. You can have a look at my website. I'm the Growth Percolator. So we brew great teams. So you can have a look there if you want to, growthpercolator.com, and maybe there's some things that can help you. But keep on doing the right things right. I love the warmth in the business, but it will cool down as you get more people if you don't do the right things right. Yes. Thank you very much. That was great.
Oh, man. Thank you, Wilhelm. Thank you.
let's go to Vili. Vili?
Yeah, thank you for this, I would say, family here. I'm quite sure the rest of the family will definitely listen to the recorder. Yeah, for me, it's getting the balance right. I think you understand that. And I think if you can just remember the following, and I say this from my heart, dealing also with families like you and entrepreneurs, is if there is conflict, just remember the following. Ask the question, how can I convert this conflict into connection? And then you're there. Just remember that. How can I convert any conflict into connection? Because in the end, it's all about building trust. And we build trust by having conflict, dealing it in the right way. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vili.
Fantastic takeaway there. All right, and I'll go to Bruce, and I'm going to end with Liam. Bruce, what is your takeaway from today's discussion?
From today, we actually discovered, you know what, we might, and I'm saying it with respect to all our competitors. After today, I think myself and my boys and wifey is thinking we got the next big thing in South Africa, if not the world. And the takeaways is, I think it's aligned to what we actually have is our SME has to be driven by A, quality, B, innovation, and C, community/family for the experiences. And I believe the Source Queen will continue to demonstrate that we not only a business born on the Cape Flats, Mitchell's Plain, but we can compete on the national stage with inspiring the next generation of young South African entrepreneurs.
Fantastic, Bruce. Thank you so much. And I'm going to end with Liam. Liam, what is your big takeaway from what we've discussed today and your involvement here?
With mine, first of all, it was just great to meet each and every one of you. Great minds, think alike. And I would say growth, the biggest word. I continue to feel like every time we have a conversation with good people such as you guys selves, you guys remind us, like Russell said, of why we have what we have and why we believe in what we believe in and why we want to bring people together with this source. And also just paying homage to our moms, our queens in our lives, and making sure that they also get that flowers that they deserve. Yes, we are people, we are human, and we won't be perfect. However, we can continue to show that the conflict brings the trust. Exactly what Vili was saying also. So I think growth, because that conflict into something positive that is where the growth lies. And not only will it grow us as a team, it grows us as a community, and then it grows us as a source, as a brand, as a everything. Yeah, so I would say growth, because then we can teach the rest.
Fantastic. Thank you, Liam, for those wise words. And from my point of view, it's clarity of purpose, having clarity of purpose. And I think that's what you guys have. You have clarity in what you want to achieve, where you want to go to, and what you need to do to actually get there. So congratulations to you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to ask you all to stay on because we need to record this, end the recording, and we cannot do that if we just leave. So please stay on, Liam. Don't go.
I wonder if I can I quickly say something else?
Please.
Is sometimes the perfect lies inside what is imperfect. So what looks imperfect might not be.
Absolutely.
I love that one. I love that one, Mana. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mana.
Thank you.
There's a question that's just come through. Maybe you could just ask. I know Tatu is also in the food industry. Might be a good connection for you guys. Do you want to just answer that question that is just like, what is your plan regarding your funding challenge?
Yeah. You want me to answer, Liam?
Yes,
go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I can answer. We are searching for an investor. And Tato, just to let you know, the advantages of an investor, you can offer equity. But the biggest advantage or take-back is not like going for a bank funding or government institution whereby you then have mandatory monthly payments of that loan or funding that you've done. So if it supports and aligns to your business, we would recommend find either a crowd investor or even a private investor.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much.
Bruce, sorry, I'm just interrupting, David.
Please
Bruce, go. Offline or off this site, I want to just quickly touch on base on something that I've been working on with DTIC that I think we can talk about.
Okay. Thanks, Russell.
Fantastic. All right, guys, thanks so much. Be here next week. We're going to be talking about another wonderful subject. Please look online to see what it's all about. And thank you so much for joining us, Bruce and Liam, and to all the co-hosts.
Thank you for hosting, and thank you, everyone, for the insightful advice. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Stay on. All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Welcome to Vision 2026. We give expertise a voice. A platform where bold ideas, lived expertise, and real experience shape how we grow, lead, and create impact in 2026 and beyond. Meet your host, David Bauer, bid architect and strategic thinker, who helps leaders turn complexity into clarity and gives business leaders a voice that wins in the real world. Marna Rowitz, seasoned strategist and business leader, helping people protect what they've built and grow with clarity, resilience, and foresight. Glenn Lease Jones, Map 4 life coach with decades of experience guiding people and entrepreneurs to find purpose, set direction, and map their journey to meaningful success. Russell John Fagan, sales mastery trainer, who brings practical sales insight and transformational strategies that help individuals and businesses increase their influence and performance. Wilhelm Lombard, human systems and team performance coach focused on helping organizations strengthen team alignment, leadership energy, and human systems, so people are ready for growth before growth exposes weaknesses. Together, we bring unique perspectives and deep expertise so you can think bigger, act bolder, and make 2026 your breakthrough year. Hit that subscribe button now and follow Vision 2026 for your weekly dose of expert insight, future-focused conversations, and real-world perspectives shaping South Africa. This is Vision 2026, giving expertise a voice.